Good morning, students of class 7. Today we will do the civics portion. We will do democracy. Already you have done this in PA1. So let us revise this once again. So before starting the chapter, let me tell you that you can understand from the word democracy. It means that the right, the sole right comes in the hand of people, citizens of the country. The citizens have got the right to vote. They can elect their representatives, and so they are indirectly involving in the political affairs, and they can elect their representatives of their own choice through voting. Okay, so let us see once again. Now, first is, what is government? So government, it is a body, okay, that governs or administers a political unit like a country or state. It is just a political body or a unit, okay, that looks after the country or state. The government has the authority to make laws, settle disputes, maintain security, and enforce public order. So government looks after these things, that it makes law, it settles the disputes meaning various problems that arises in the citizens, maintain security and enforce public order. It also provides and maintain public facilities like roads, supply of water and electricity, and public transport. So it also looks after the maintenance of the road, supply of water, electricity, and public transport. So all these are the works of the government. Now we are coming to the different types of government. So first type is monarchy. So monarchy is the hereditary form of government where the single ruler rules the country, and he is the king, and his power is all. What he will say, that will be the final rule. Okay, people is bound to listen to the monarch. Next we are coming to the and another thing, this is the examples like in Saudi Arabia, Yemen, we can find this type of monarchy. Next coming is the oligarchy. Oligarchy, it is a form of government in which a small group of people holds all the power. Okay, so a small group of people looks after the power, sees the power. Examples, ancient Rome, South Africa, okay, when it was ruled only by the whites. Next coming, theocracy. Theocracy is the form of government in which a group of religious leaders rule in the name of God. So these people who are they are religious, concerned with the religious matters, they rule, okay, telling the people that all these rules and regulations will be in the name of God, okay, and where governance is based on the tenets of that religion. Tenets means belief or the principles of a religion of that, like Iran, Vatican City, all this. Next is the dictatorship. Dictatorship, it is a form of government where person or group of people who have seized power by force, they rule. Example, Germany under Hitler. That means the person by force, he became the ruler, and what he is going to tell, that will be the final decision. Example, Hitler of Germany. Pakistan under the rule of General Ziaul Haq. Now we are coming to the next one, that is democracy. Democracy, it is a form of government in which the people govern the country, sometimes directly and sometimes indirectly through their elected representatives. That is Brazil, States of America. Sometimes we are directly electing, and sometimes we are indirectly electing our representatives. This system where the power of election lies in the hand of the people, that is called democracy. Next we are coming to the totalitarian government. Totalitarian state. So in this totalitarian state, it is a system of government where the state or monarchy exercises absolute control. Okay, so here the monarch or the state has the absolute power to control over the matters of the state. Everything he will, what the monarch will tell, what the state will tell, that will be the final decision. And where people have little or no freedom, people have no freedom to tell anything. Next, we are coming to the history of democracy. Here, first we will come to know about Indian democracies. In Indian democracies, some earliest democratic systems were found in ancient India. How? The king was elected by the people as he was advised by the Sabha. Okay, so in the earliest democratic system, the king was elected by the people, and this king, he was advised by the Sabha. Now, what is that Sabha? Sabha consists of the council of important chieftains of the tribe, or the pradhan of the tribe. Okay, that person advises the king, and the Samiti. Who are in the Samiti? A Samiti is a gathering of all the men of the tribe, those who are gathered in that association in the tribe, that is called Samiti. Next coming Athenian democracy. Now in this Athenian democracy, Athens was a powerful city-state in ancient Greece. It developed into a democracy around 500 BC. So Athens was becoming a powerful city-state in ancient Greece, and it developed into democracy when? In 500 BC. Here Solon, a Greek lawgiver, he laid a foundation for Athenian democracy, which was misused by the earlier monarchs. Now Solon was a Greek lawgiver. He first laid the foundation of Athenian democracy, but this democracy was misused by the monarchs of the early time. But later on in 510 BCE, Cleisthenes abolished monarchy, and he established one of the world's first democratic government. So this person, Cleisthenes, he abolished monarchy and he first established the democratic government. It was a system of direct democracy. Okay, directly you can elect. Now people voted directly on issues and bills. Women and slaves were not allowed to vote. So here at that time, women and slaves were not given the permission to vote. Pericles, who was an able democratic leader, under him Athens reached its glory. Now we are coming to England and the Magna Carta. Now the King of England, he signed the Magna Carta in 1215 CE. In the Magna Carta, the king agreed to renounce certain rights. Okay, so here the king wanted to refuse certain rights in the Magna Carta in 1215. What he wanted to refuse? The Magna Carta includes the writ of habeas corpus. What does this term mean? It means which gives people the right to appeal if they are imprisoned without just cause. Now, if any person is been imprisoned without a reasonable cause, then that person can appeal to the court. Okay. Next point is Europe and the Renaissance. Okay, it is called Age of Enlightenment in 17th and 18th century. Now the Renaissance was a movement where the common people started questioning the control of the church and the monarchs over their lives. Now this time, this age of Renaissance, age of enlightenment, or you can term it as Renaissance, here the common people, the questions are arising among the common people that why all the powers will be in the hands of the monarch, why the church will have all the control. These types of questions are coming as they rediscover the democratic principles of ancient Athens and Rome. They are coming to the light of the democracy. Okay, so these things they are questioning. Now, next it is the age of enlightenment. Okay, why? Because the new thoughts are coming in the minds of the common people, where the philosophers defined the essential elements of democracy. The philosophers, they are defining the meaning, what is the meaning of democracy, like John Locke, Rousseau, all. Now, the main meaning of democracy is equality, fundamental rights, religious freedom, separation of the church and the state. So, church will only deal with the religious affair. Church should not have any connection with the state. So, this thing, these thoughts are coming now in their minds. The Americans developed the concept of republicanism, which is a political system that protects liberty and believes in equality and the rule of law. Okay, so this is the concept of the, if you read about French Revolution, all this concept is there in the French Revolution also. That the Americans, they developed the concept of republicanism, and which is a political system that protects liberty. Liberty, everyone should have the liberty and everyone is equal, okay, in the eyes of law. Now we are coming to the key elements of democracy. What are the main features of democracy? First one is rule by the people. So here it means it is a political system where the people choose the government through regular, free and fair elections. So I told you previously also that where government are chosen by the people through elections. That is the main feature of democracy. During elections, people choose their representatives from competing parties. Various parties were there. From among them, people choose the representatives. The people thus decide who will represent them in parliament. A parliament is a body of elected representatives which will rule the country on behalf of the people. So parliament, it is a body of elected representatives which will rule the country on behalf of people. It will rule on behalf of people. Okay, it is a body of elected representatives, the representatives whom we elect. Next coming the justice and equality. What does it mean, justice and equality? They are the two pillars of democracy. Okay, justice and equality. What are the two pillars of democracy? Justice and equality. Justice is given to every person. Okay, every person is should have laws is equal to everyone. Okay, equality is defined by our constitution as everyone is equal in the eyes of law. So there should not be any impartiality in the case of law. Okay, there should not be any partiality in case of the law. So next point is guarantee of basic human rights to every citizen. What is there? The rights to freedom of speech and action. So everyone should have the right to tell their speech. Okay, there is nobody can just tell to stop, and you cannot tell anything about any leader. Then the right to equality. Everyone is equal in the eyes of law. Also everyone should be equal. The right to freedom of religion. That means everybody has got the right to accept any religion. Okay, if you want to be Hindu, that was also accepted. If you can be Muslim, that is also accepted. You can be Christian, that is also accepted. The right to information. Each person has the right to know what is happening in the country and the world. Okay, as a citizen, I have got the right to know whatever is happening in the world, and I can also comment about it. Next, the right to travel anywhere in the country. So as a citizen, I can travel anywhere in the country. Nobody can point or can object about it. Next, the right to associate with other people and to form and join organizations of their own choice. Okay, now if I like, I can join any other organization. If I want to leave any organization, I can do it according to my own choice. The government has not got any right to tell me against this. The right to assemble freely and to protest government actions. Okay, so this is also the right to assemble freely and to protest government action. If the government is not working properly, then we, the citizens of India, can protest against it. Next coming, the rule of law. In a democratic country, there are several laws to limit the power of government. What is that? To maintain order and protect the rights of the citizen. All citizens are equal in the eyes of law. So, in a democratic country, there are several laws, okay, to limit the power of government. That means the government can't do anything what he likes. There are some laws and there are some limitations to maintain order and protect the rights of citizens. So the government should look after the rights of the citizen. It is well protected, the rights are protected or not, that is the work of the government. And the government has also got some limitations. He can't able to do whatever he likes, because all the citizens are equal in the eyes of law. Okay, next comes the separation of powers to ensure smooth and impartial governance. Most democracies provide for this separation of the three bodies of government. Now, these three bodies of the government, for a single government, it is difficult to function for the whole country. So, it is divided. So, executive, legislature and judiciary in three parts. Now, the legislature is concerned with making of laws. The executive deals with the actual execution, whether the laws were executed properly or not. That executive department sees. And the judiciary enforces the law made by the legislature. The law is the judiciary department is to enforce whether the law is done properly or not. Next comes the participation of citizens in politics and civic life. The citizens of a democracy participate actively in its functioning. How? They are well informed about the issues facing the country and how they want the issues addressed. Now, as a citizen of a democratic country, they are well informed about the issues, what is happening in the country, and they also know how they want to solve those issues. Now, the people elect their representatives carefully. Once elected, the citizens continue to keep a watch on the leaders they have chosen. Recently, we had about the natural disaster Umphan. There, people was watching whether the government was doing their work properly or not in every area. Okay, and also we are now being victim of corona. There also, we as a citizen of India, we are watching whether the government are taking proper measures to stop this disease. So all these the citizens can do it. Now coming the limits and the requirements of democracy. Now, citizens must not only be aware and fight for the rights. Okay, so citizens, they should not only fight for the rights. Okay, they must also observe the principles of democratic conduct. Now, though there are many rights for the citizens, they should have the democratic principles. They should also observe the principles of democratic conduct. If properly these rights are maintained, they should respect to the rights also. People must respect law and reject violence. They should not adopt any violent means. They should respect the law. Every citizen must respect the rights of fellow citizens and their dignity as human beings. So every citizen should respect each other. They should give dignity to each other. Okay, rights were given not to misuse it. People can question the discussion of the government, but they should not reject the government's authority. Now, any decision government if gives, people can question that why this decision has been taken, but they have not got the right to reject any decision given by the authority, that is the government. Okay, I hope you will you have able to understand the chapter. Go through the chapter. We will meet again in the next class. Thank you.